Welcome to the Building Your Brand, how the three things you need to know to get the clients you want webinar. I'm so glad that you are able to join me this evening. So I'm just going to wait a minute or two and let other people have a little bit more time to join in, and then we will get started. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So, with building your brand, the main thing that you want to focus on, or the three things that we're going to talk about, are the three things that you want to focus on when you are building your brand. And when you're building your brand is more than just like your fonts, your colors, your domains, your social media handles all matching and things like that. All that is very important, and it's important for cohesiveness and making sure that people are able to reach you. But you also want to make sure that you are conveying a clear and concise message each and every time you present yourself to the world. So whether that's your social media posts, your blog posts, your any live videos that you're doing or recorded videos, or anything that you do, you want to make sure that you're clearly and concisely conveying that message. So you also don't need to you don't have to worry about having a whole lot of bells and whistles. You can just if you want, the easiest way that I think of it is just going with three things, and I will get into that a little bit later. But if you focus on three things, you can really focus in and make sure that you're covering a lot of your bases. You can't do everything and you can't serve everybody. So you want to make sure that the things that you're doing well and you know thoroughly, and you are definitely conveying that message to the people that are looking for you. Because when you target one specific type of person, you are going to be targeting multiple people, because there will be multiple people that are in that same situation. So, to get started, the very first thing that you need to know to attract the clients you want is who you are. And the reason you need to know who you are is because this will determine the amount of time, effort, and money you need to put into your business. And it will identify where you need to put those things into your business. And it will help you identify where others can help you. So when you have a clear idea of who you are, you will be able to bring your unique experiences, your talents, your gifts to your business, and then therefore be able to help your clients in a way that somebody else doing something very similar to you is not doing. Doesn't mean that you are better or worse than them, but you are bringing something to the table that somebody else doesn't have. And so you want to make sure to just be authentic and be yourself, and not try to fill in what, or copy somebody else, or if somebody else's method is working for them, that's great, but it may not work for you. So just some things to think about in terms of how this will directly affect your business, how it will directly affect anybody on your team, and how it will affect you. Because even if you have a team, you are the leader. And so all of these things are encompass and make up who your business is. Because if you are a solopreneur or you have a micro business, you are your business essentially. So you are the one that is setting the vision, you're setting the goals, you're setting the mission. And so you want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what's going on. And you want to make sure that you know your talents and your strengths so that you can staff your weaknesses. So let me get into some examples. So do you have a full-time or part-time job? So if you are starting out, or if you've had a business for a while on the side, if you have a full or part-time job, obviously that is going to mean that you have less time to work in your business. And that is fine, because it also means that you probably have more money to put into starting your business if your goal is to have your business be your sole income. So if you have a full-time or part-time job, keep that in mind, because you do not want to burn yourself out. A lot of entrepreneurs end up burning themselves out, whether they are working full-time or part-time or just working in their business. You want to be realistic, and there's nothing wrong with being realistic. A lot of times there's so much that we hear about hustling and grinding from morning to night, and get the bag and all that stuff is great, but you do have to realize that there is only so much that anybody can do. And so if you use your time wisely, you will be able to really get a lot done. And one thing that I just came out with a planner. It's a digital planner for like an iPad, and one of the weekly layouts, I don't know if you can really see it, I really like, and I have, I'll keep it up here a little bit longer so you can look at it. I really like this layout because you can see everything that you're doing in a week. You can have your personal and your business obligations and schedule laid out right next to each other. And also, what I've done is I have a template of exactly what my week should look like. So I have every hour accounted for. So you want to make sure, do you have office hours? Even if you work at home, work from home, your office is in your bedroom or the living room or the kitchen, even if you can only work 30 minutes a day, what times are you working? When are you working? What days are you working? What are you doing on those days? One of the best things that I've seen in terms of scheduling is the block method, where you schedule a certain amount of time. So if you do videos, if you do live videos, or you record videos for YouTube or Instagram, and you it's easier to set a whole day. My day is Monday, to record all of your videos on one day and then edit all of your videos on one day, so that you're not editing, recording video after video. It's kind of more choppy. You can get a lot more done in one day of just recording all videos in one day and editing all videos in one day, and batching and creating your blog content all in one day, or however that works for you. If you only have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, if you have kids, and you might need to just kind of sprinkle that in throughout the day. But if you know exactly what you are going to be doing when you sit down to do it, it makes your time so much more productive, especially if you have limited time. So let me get back into the list of things to consider with how it affects your business. So kids, you have kids, your marital status, if you're a single parent, if you're married and your spouse expects you to spend time with them, dating, your income. Do you need a quiet area to work? So again, like if you're sharing your office space with the living room or a bedroom or something like that, does it have to be completely quiet in order for you to work? That will impact when you are going to work. And all of this relates back to attracting the right kind of clients, because the energy that you have, that you are able to put into your business, and the amount of time that you're able to put into your business, it shows through in how you market yourself. It shows through in how you handle clients. So you want to feel as focused, you want to feel as prepared, and you want to feel as ready as you can be when you are when you actually deal with clients. So this is kind of some more of the foundational work. And a lot of times people just kind of jump right into their business because they're either excited, they don't have a lot of time, they don't really know what to do first, but they know what they want to do. And so they kind of jump in without kind of figuring out exactly how they're going to sustain the business. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure, especially if you're working alone and you don't have a support staff, you don't have anybody that's helping you. You want to make sure that you are able to, not over promise and under deliver. So, are you a morning person or a night person? Or if you can stay up a little bit later after you get home from work, or after your kids go to bed, or get up before your kids go to bed, or before you go to work, and get in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever that is. If you know that you can get in a client call or send emails, something that can be more consistent, and log those as your office hours, that will really help you with your business. So, are you an introvert or an extrovert? The amount of time, like I was saying before, you can spend daily and weekly on your business. Now, this isn't like a thing where you have to like feel guilty if you don't have a lot of time or you don't meet that whatever that quota is every week, but it's good to aim for something, have an idea of what you are, aiming for. Do you need accountability? I know I personally need accountability, like somebody that is going to help me to help myself and make sure that I accomplish what I know I want to accomplish and accomplish what I know I can accomplish. So, all of these things determine how much time you can spend with your clients. It determines how you are building your business and how you go about doing that. And just be as specific as you can be, because you will be able to figure out any areas that, again, you might need help with. If you're able to have a virtual assistant to help you with some things that, you can get some of your time back to do things that only you can do, like actually work with clients. It can help you to realize some things that you might be able to do better without needing to hire somebody else. So nobody can do everything. No matter how much you hustle, no matter how little you sleep, no matter, how many birthdays and Christmases and, holidays you miss, how many weekends you work, how many late nights you have, you still can't do everything. And again, that is not sustainable. You are looking to have a business that lasts, whatever your goal is. If you want to pass on to your kids, if you want to, retire early, if you want to, if this, you're doing this as your retirement, to have extra money, whatever it is, if it's for your children's college fund, you want to be able to sustain this lifestyle, and you want to be able to sustain your business. You don't want your business to run you. You need to run your business. And again, if you are organized, that comes through in dealing with your clients. That comes through in your messaging. That comes through in the way that you handle every aspect of your business. So there is no wrong or right answer in terms of who you are and what you bring to your business. They're just the facts. Everybody brings something different to their business, and that is okay, and that is great, and that is why somebody will choose your business over another business that does the same thing, because there's something about you that's a little different, that speaks to them in a way that somebody else that's doing the same thing doesn't. So just be open and honest and share that if you are comfortable, sharing a little bit about yourself with your clients or your potential clients. So, again, you do not want to overpromise and underdeliver. And with that is knowing your limitations, where you might have to have some help, and some of your weaknesses. And then, of course, your strengths. You obviously want to play to your strengths. And even with your strengths, it doesn't mean that you have to do all of your strengths. It can be overwhelming in the beginning. So I really like to focus on three things, like I said at the beginning of the webinar. Three things. If you have three really great strengths, you can focus on those and really build those out and see how that can really create a really strong foundation for your business. And then go from there. As you can bring in staff, then maybe you add in another component to your business that is your strength. But you don't want to do too much so that you can't sustain it. Because if you have, it's just you, or you have a couple of people and you have 10 services and it gets to be too much to handle, you don't want to drop the ball in any area. Even if you're passionate about it, even if you do it really well, you can't do it all. So the first is, I'm just going to recap, is who are you? Who are you is essentially who your business is. It goes into why you decided to start the business you decided to start. It goes into why you hire the people that you hired or will hire to help you continue with your business. And it also goes into the types of people that you will attract. So the next is who you serve. There is no business that is for every business or for every person. So if you have for instance, a water bottle company, you think, okay, everybody needs water, but everybody is not going to want your water. Some people are going to want pH balanced water. Some people are going to want distilled water. Some people don't want to use plastic bottles at all. Some people, want it to be chilled. Some people want it to be room temperature. Some people, there are so many different options. Some people want flavored water. Some people want sparkling water. It doesn't, no matter what you offer, everybody is not going to need your business, no matter what your niche is. So with that in mind, you want to get as specific with your ideal client, which I'm not sure. I'm just going to go over the ideal client quickly, so that you can have some background, because knowing who your ideal client is will let people know will let you know and your team know exactly who you're serving. And when you know exactly who you're serving, you can speak to those people with your marketing, with your blog posts, with your social media posts, with your advertising, with your anything that you do, you are speaking to that person and that person only. So you don't want to speak if you're selling flat water, you don't care, you care, but you're not talking to people that want sparkling water because they're not going to be interested in your water. If they're looking for sparkling water, they don't want flat water. So you want to make sure to be as specific as you can be, because that is what is really going to attract people to you. So you can, some things to consider are, where do they live? If they live, in a hot climate, they might want more water or different types of water, or they might want a bigger water bottle than someone who lives in a cold climate. Whatever those types of things, how does that affect your business? How does that affect the clients that are interested in your business? Are they creative? What problems do your clients have? So this really gets into attracting the client that you want to work with, because when you're thinking about the problems that your client has that you and your business and your team are going to solve, you want to get as specific as you can get, because this is where you really start speaking to them in a way that gets them to go from thinking about working with you to being like, I have to work with this person. Because if you are speaking to their problems, then they will have to work with you. So the problems that they're having, um and how can you solve them? So you don't want to just obviously say that, oh, you're thirsty, but how are you solving their problem of being thirsty? So for example, for me, I help people set up their services and programs for their business. So if they have, whether they're a professional, they have some sort of training or experience, and they want to now offer their experience, their experience, their training, their knowledge as services or programs, but they don't know how. So the problems that they have are, they have a skill and training, but they don't know how to choose which services. So for instance, if you're a dentist, you might think, oh, well, I could teach continuing education. I could teach, how to keep your gums healthy. I could teach how to brush properly. I could teach, the correct way to floss. There's so many different things that you could teach within any area of knowledge. So they have a problem with narrowing down the areas that they should actually serve. Another problem that people that I help, another problem they have is they don't know how they want to deliver their services: in person, online, one-on-one, in a group. There's so many options nowadays that they kind of get a little distracted, or it gets to be overwhelming. And again, that's when I go back to choose 3 things or less. If you have to, you can start with one thing. That is fine. Like, there are places like Chipotle. I mean, they have, burritos and burrito bowls, but really it's the same ingredients. It's just whether they're in a tortilla or a taco shell or a bowl. They're just mastered that. That's their lane. That is their lane. Is the rice, the beans, all of the toppings. But that's it. They don't have pizza. They don't have ice cream. They don't have things that other restaurants do. That is what they know. So if you have one thing that you feel really comfortable with, go with that. Do not go with the thing that you think people want. Go with the thing that you know and you are comfortable with and what you want to do every day. So, again, they don't know how. So the second thing is they don't know how they want to deliver their services. And then the third is they jumped in, like I was saying earlier, they jumped into starting this business because they had this idea. They're really passionate about it. People were saying, oh my gosh, you know so much, you should really, open a business. So they jump in and then they realize, like I was saying before, oh my gosh, I hate what I'm doing because I just did what I thought was going to make me money, which obviously there's nothing wrong with that, but it can get to be really mundane and you don't want to do it if you hate what you do every day. No matter how much money you make, at some point you're going to get tired of it. And it is possible to make just as much money doing something that you love if it's within the same industry. It could just be a matter of tweaking a few things, but they might not realize that because they may have been doing it for so long, or that is what they know and they're comfortable with. And so they kind of don't know how to get out of it. And so, or the other thing is that they're disorganized because they have no systems. They just jumped in and they just kind of, things started coming at them. They became really successful, or they just don't have enough time because they're still working, etc. So you want to make sure that you know what your ideal client's problems are in depth as much as you can. And every time you post on social media, every time you send an email, every time you post a blog post, you want to make sure that you are talking to those problems. How can you help them? Who are you serving? Who you serve is who the problem is and how you are going to help them get out of this problem. Is this problem urgent? Or is it something that they can take care of when they get a chance? So if you come to a crossroads and you're not sure which problem to address in your messaging or in your services, you want to go with the urgent problem. Because if it's the most urgent, like going back to the dentist, flossing or root canal. Flossing is obviously very important. Maybe you wouldn't need the root canal if you flossed, but obviously the root canal is much more urgent because it's extremely painful. So you want to go with what is the most urgent, dire need that your client, your ideal client, is needing addressed. And you want to, again, just make sure that you are addressing that every single time you talk to that person or every time you post about that. So if you know them inside out, your ideal clients, you can speak to them and they will see you as a person that can help them solve their problems. If you are talking about their problems, they will see that you and showing them that you have a plan and you can help them fix it. Then you then become the expert and you can help them fix it. The third thing is how you serve them. So the first is who you are. The second is who you serve. And the third is how you serve them. So this is like the classic, basically, customer service. How are you going to fix their problems? Are you going to do VIP days or an intensive where you are one-on-one with them for several hours, hashing out all of their issues and diving deep with them and helping them figure out exactly what's going on, and then giving them an action plan on how to address the issues? Are you going to do coaching, whether it's one-on-one or group coaching? And that's a little bit different than a VIP day because a VIP day is 1 to 2 days usually, and coaching is several sessions over the course of months or years, depending on the situation. So, and the coaching could even be a follow up to the VIP day where you are helping them implement those action items. You're helping them work through any issues that they may encounter in implementing the action items. So, or creating a program or a course for them, or help, or yeah, creating a program or a course for your ideal client so that they can, over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, go from point A to point B. So, for me, if you have this really great skill or experience and you want to figure out how to create the services, you go from having your skill to, at the end of the course, knowing exactly how you are going to implement your services, what services you're offering, the price points, how you are doing that. Again, going back to like whether it's a VIP day, coaching, one-on-ones, whether it's online, in person, a group coaching, however you want to do that. And then the fourth is an ebook. So ebooks are really great because it's a really great form of passive income, as courses can be as well. And you can have one ebook that addresses, a lot of your ideal clients' problem areas, or you can have an ebook that addresses one. So maybe you have a series of ebooks and it's passive, you write it, and then it's just on your website or wherever you listed it, and you can just get residual income from that indefinitely, really. So the four areas of how you can serve them, for really easy areas to implement in your business almost immediately, are VIP days or intensives, which are like 5 hours usually of one-on-one time, direct one-on-one time. And you can do that online as well. Um, Coaching, one-on-one or group, a program or a course, or an ebook. And you can, so a lot of determining exactly which of those or combination of those works for you goes back to who you are. How much time do you have? Do you have any time that's quiet in your house to actually do a VIP day? If you have kids or if you live with other people and there's always dogs barking or whatever going on, can is that something that you can really do right now? Maybe you need to write an ebook. Maybe you need to have a course that they can download or they can, be emailed to them. It's like a one-time payment and then just email to them over the course of the weeks, or it's immediately sent to them. They can do it at their own pace. Maybe if you, work a full-time job, you don't have a block of 5 hours to sit down and talk to someone either in person or online. Again, maybe you want to do an ebook, or maybe you want to do a course, or maybe you want to do coaching where you have an hour a month that you spend with a group of people that are in the same ideal client group, something like that. It just really depends on what you are able to do at this point. And it also depends on your area of expertise, your niche. If you are doing, hair care or something that's more hands-on, you might want to have videos, and you might want to have, maybe some sort of VIP day where you can kind of assess the situation more on a one-on-one, case-by-case basis. But if it's something that can be done in a group atmosphere, then that might be something that, it would depend on your ideal client and what they are looking for. And also that would depend on the price point that you want to sell your services at. So obviously VIP days are more expensive, or they can be, than an ebook. Usually they would be more expensive. So if you are, helping unemployed people get jobs, that price point is not going to be, more expensive. So you probably want to go with like an ebook option, because maybe you can sell it for $10 or $5 or whatever the price point is, versus, two, three, $5,000 for a VIP day. So it really depends on what you are able to do right now, what you're able to implement, your skill level in terms of being able to create these products and services, and what your ideal client needs at this moment. And so you could also have tiers. So maybe you have a combination of those, or you have 2 or 3 coaching programs. One might be $10 a month, and then you might have some that are $200 a month. Depends on what you're offering and the participants' available access to you and your area of knowledge and expertise. So you can really craft exactly what you want for your business based on who you are, again, and what you want to be doing in your business every day, because this is your business. You started your business, I would think, because usually you have some interest in the area, but also obviously to make money. And so you don't want to be miserable if at all possible. So when you are picking your services, think about what you want to be doing every day. So you can pick the your offerings, the services that you offer based on who you are, your availability, your skill level. If you can put together a course, if you can, put together a website that offers a course, and then you want to also have in mind who you're serving. How would they best receive this information? What type of learner are they? That's another great question to ask or consider when you are compiling your ideal client avatar. Are they an auditory learner? Are they a sensory learner? Do they have to learn? Are they a visual learner? Do they have to be hands-on and get in there and do it in order to learn it type of person? So if they are an auditory learner, then an ebook might not work for them unless you have an audiobook. It just depends. And there's so many different options and that are available out there. But again, it can be overwhelming, especially if you're just getting started. So I would suggest just going with your services specifically, if you just want to start with one service and really be very thoughtful about what you are able to offer your ideal client right now. Because even though social media is amazing, and it is, word of mouth is still one of the best forms of advertising. Because even though you might not ever meet your clients in person, they have social media. And depending on how many followers they have, they can either say that this was great, they might not say anything, but you want them to obviously have a very good opinion of you and to share the information with their friends and family. And depending on what your niche is, there is a good chance that they know other people that need the services that you're offering. So even if you're just going to offer, and I don't even want to say just, there's nothing wrong with offering one service and doing it extremely well and crafting that and creating a service that, even if it has tiers and levels to it, that works for your ideal client. And that way you are attracting that right person. If you have one service, you are going to make sure that you are going to get the client that is exactly who needs what you offer and the person that you want to work with. Because if you start with you, yourself, your business in mind and who you are and what you are capable of working with, and you include that in how you message in your messaging, then people that are looking for what you offer are going to find you. If you are going based on what other people are saying or what people think that you should offer because of, their even, and it can be completely, people trying to help. Like for instance, my dad told me one time that he thought I should be a child psychologist. I don't think that that's true. I mean, for whatever reason, he thought that I should be a child psychologist. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with being a child psychologist. But I know myself and I do not want to do that. That is not something that I'd ever be interested in. So knowing who you are and not being like swayed by other people's opinions or their well-meaning advice can do a lot for you, and making sure that you are attracting the right clients to your business so that you can work with the right people and that the clients will be satisfied and be raving about your services. So again, the 3 things that you need to know to get the clients that you want are who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them. So that is a an overview of how to attract the clients that you want. And so I am starting in 2020 VIP days, which is, like I mentioned earlier, one-on-one intensive 5 hour. There are breaks scheduled that are not included in the 5 hours, so it's not just 5 hours straight. But so that I'm going to have I'm starting VIP days to help people develop their services and programs. So I've done it different ways, but really sitting down and getting through um, helping people develop their services and programs in one shot really works very well. So, what my VIP day will cover is developing and structuring your services, defining exactly who needs your services so that you're marketing to the right audience, and how to offer your services. So, very basically, what we talked about today, but getting in depth and figuring out exactly who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them, coming up with your plan, the tiers, the pricing, exactly what type of, if you want to do an ebook, exactly what your ebook is going to include, exactly what your VIP day could include, what your coaching program would include, how you're going to offer that. Is it going to be through Kajabi? Is it going to be through a MailChimp automated email service? How are you going to offer the services that you want to offer? So we will again be going much deeper than I did tonight in the VIP day, because it will be 5 hours, just me and you. And we will, before the VIP day, I will send you a questionnaire so that when we meet, we can get started, and then we'll have a follow-up meeting after the VIP day. So for the next 48 hours, I'm offering a $300 discount on my VIP day, and you'll receive a link to the VIP day offer a few minutes after the webinar is over. Um, so now that the webinar is over, if you have any questions, you can click the link below the video if you're still on my website to go over to YouTube and type in the chat box. Or if you're watching like on a computer and you have the screen expanded, or you might not even need to have it expanded, you can click the YouTube logo and it will take you to the chat box, and I can answer any questions if anybody has any. So I will just gonna wait a couple of minutes and see if there are any questions. I had some questions on Instagram. So let me see. Okay, so it didn't come through, and I'm not getting any questions on here. So just keep an eye out for the offer and for VIP days. And I'll also send a link for a replay of this. And you can always email me at angela@ovlay.com if you have any questions. Thanks for joining me.